Good afternoon. We are so glad you're able to join us today for our regular board meeting. Today is July 13th, 2023. I am Tanika Harris. I'm the Director of Communication and Community Relations here at the URA. We have some exciting news announcements to share and some other projects that we would like to present today. Chairman Chintalapalli, it looks like you do have a quorum, and I am passing the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Director Harris. Do want to note that we have present Councilman Lavelle, Representative Innamorato, Director Lindsay Powell. Director Williamson is traveling, so he will be unable to join us today. As Director Harris noted, we do have a quorum. With that, our first order of business is approval of the June 8th, 2023 URA Board meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
So move.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Then the motion carries. Please note that the URA Board met in executive session on July 7th and July 13th to discuss projects, briefing for today's meeting for informational purposes only and personnel matters. Moving on in the agenda, our first order of business then is public comment. Daniel,
Chairman Chintalapalli, would it be okay if we get public comment after the announcements? It doesn't appear that people who have registered are on calling it.
Okay, yeah, let's give them a minute, then we'll move into announcements. Our first announcement is a number of RFPs. Joining us for this will be Lindsay Jupin. I'll turn it over to her.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lindsay Jupin. I am the Real Estate Inventory Manager here at the URA. I'm proud to announce today a series of requests for proposals and requests for qualifications supporting the URA Real Estate Department. The first RFP is for a qualified parking lot operator for the URA-owned parcel at 610 3rd Avenue. So the URA is soliciting proposals for operators of this surface parking lot, which consists of approximately 140 parking spaces. The RFP will open on Monday, July 17th. Responses are due by noon on Thursday, August 17th, and submissions will be via the URA bidding platform, IonWave. Next slide. The next RFP that we would like to announce is for the URA Land Care Program. So a little bit of history with the Land Care Program. In its current iteration, it launched in 2016. So the program engages small businesses and community organizations to maintain URA-owned property throughout the city of Pittsburgh. At the start of the program in 2016, the land care contractors maintained approximately 350 vacant parcels, and we contracted with 7 small businesses and nonprofit organizations. Currently, land care maintains 1,200 parcels with an average annual cost of approximately $750,000. For reference, that's over 18 million square feet. The URA now seeks proposals for providers for the 2023 to 2025 period. The RFP will be issued on Monday, July 17th. Responses are due at 12 p.m. on Thursday, August 17th, and also submissions are via the URA bidding platform, IonWave. Next slide, please. In addition, we are seeking requests for qualifications for an appraiser panel. This will be for a 3-year contract period. We're seeking a panel of qualified appraisers to handle the various requests that come through for opinions market value for URA acquisitions and dispositions. The RFQ will be issued on Monday, July 17th, 2023. Responses are due at 12 p.m. on Thursday, August 17th, 2023. Responses should be submitted through the URA bidding platform, IonWave. Next slide, please. Additionally, we are seeking qualified surveyors to join our panel for URA real estate department needs. The RFQ will be issued on Monday, July 17th, 2023. Responses are due 12 p.m. on Thursday, August 17th, 2023. Responses also being submitted through Ion Wave. Next slide, please. And then lastly, we are seeking requests for qualifications for title agents. We seek qualified individuals and companies to provide various title services to the URA Real Estate Department. The RFQ will be issued on Monday, July 17th, 2023, and responses are due at 12 p.m. on Thursday, August 17th, 2023. Submissions also should go through the URA bidding platform, Ion Wave. I also would like to note that we are especially giving priority to MWBE businesses. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Lindsay. You're going to have a busy August, so that's clear. Going through all of these. Any questions or comments from board members? Well, thank you for getting all of these on the street. As you noted, good opportunities for us to get slates of small businesses involved, in procurements as we go down the road. On the land care, and I know we've had these conversations separately, but just because it is something we hear from community members, as we think through that and with the city being in their second iteration of it all, will be good to think through how we can more closely coordinate on those things, because there are instances where our contractors go out and the cities don't come out, and just making sure that we're getting the best level of service for the neighborhoods, while we're doing this, and also being equitable in the way that we're contracting it, making sure that everyone's coming out on top of this will be great. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Our next announcement is to introduce our summer intern class, and I'm going to turn things over to Director Harris for this.
Hello again. I am excited. We are all excited here, Chairman Chintalapoli and our fellow board members. We are here to introduce the URA's Summer Intern Cohort of 2023. I just like to say cohort, so just indulge me for a second. My team said, please don't say that. So we have with you, in front of you on the screen, you will see, and then I'm not doing them in the same order that they're presented. We have Dylan Lapata. He attends City High Charter School, and he's being mentored here by our housing department staff, and he's utilizing his skills in robotics and information technology. Dylan, he has worked to improve our systems of data mining, collection, and impact. And this is through a partnership that the URA now has with City High Charter School, which is just a few blocks down the street from us. Next, you will hear we have Isabel Jabor. She attends the University of Pittsburgh, working towards her master's in public administration, and she is interning in our development services department. I would include applause or a song or something afterwards, but I'm just trying to be brief, okay? Jordan Williams, he also attends the University of Pittsburgh, majoring in political science. He is interning in our strategic data and impact department. Pausing for applause, that's our virtual applause. Matthew Colantonio, he is an applied economics major at Boston College, and he is interning in our Pittsburgh Housing Development Corporation, also known as PHDC, which is a URA affiliate. Virtual applause. Bryce Carter, he is a student at Central State University, majoring in exercise science with a minor in business management, and he is interning within the Communication and Community Relations Department. Eric Bernheimer is a comparative political science major at the University of Pittsburgh. He is interning within our housing department. And lastly, we have Roger Lamard. He is majoring in architecture, attending Howard University, and he is interning in our quality control and inspections department, focusing on architecture design. And so I proudly present to you all our summer intern cohort class of 2023. Thank you for allowing us this time.
Director Powell's given the virtual applause there. So that was great. Thank you, Director Harris. It's great to see, another strong class of interns come in. We had the pleasure of hosting a few of them in the mayor's office, as the photos there show, a few days ago. They were incredibly impressive. And I know, it's been, as a former URA intern myself, and I know a number of folks that are there now full time, also started that way. Hopefully we're breeding the next generation of leadership within the authority and the city more broadly. So thank you all. Thank you to the interns for spending your summer with us, and thank you to the staff that's taken the time to mentor and hopefully teach the folks that are with us for the summer. So I don't know if there's any other questions or comments before we move on. Our next announcement is a long-awaited disposition for Hayes Woods, and I will turn things over to ML Meyer.
Thank you, Chairman, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is ML Meyer. I'm the Director of Real Estate at the URA. Today, I'm very pleased to announce that on June 21st, the URA deeded the open space known as Hayes Woods to the city of Pittsburgh. In 2016, the URA purchased a total of about 650 acres in the Hayes and St. Clair neighborhoods in Pittsburgh, as well as in Baldwin, from a private developer who had planned to put a casino and racetrack, among other things, on this site. The conveyance to the city includes the 640 acres of the property that are located in Pittsburgh. The URA has retained ownership of approximately 10 acres in Baldwin. This land, which comprises the whole forested hillside along the west side of the Monongahela River between Beck's Run and Glass Run, and is the home of the Hayes Bald Eagles, is protected by a covenant with the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources that means it will be preserved as an open space in perpetuity. There is city council legislation pending now that will formalize designation of the property as a city park. Thank you.
Thanks, ML. I don't know if there's any questions or comments from board members. It's exciting to be at this point. It's been a long time coming. Director Powell, I'm sorry, you came up with you. Oh.
I wasn't off. No, I wasn't off mute.
Sorry, it must just be my internet over here. But yeah, it's exciting to be at this point. Thank you, ML. Thank you to the team at the authority. Lots of people have been involved in this, through the Peduto administration, my first go around with the city, a number of attorneys, our former chairman, Kevin Acklin, and Chuck Butters and his family to get us to this point. So it's exciting to be here where it's finally disposed of and protected for future generations. So thank you all. Our last announcement is with Derek Kendall Morris joining us to talk about the Lawyer of the Day initiative, and then some awards that we'll make later in the agenda for legal assistance. So, Derek.
It appears Derek is having some technical difficulties. Evan, are you able to step in for Derek?
Hi there. Sorry about this technical issue. Derek was highlighting the Lawyer of the Day initiative, and he sits right outside my office, so he might be coming in here to do the announcement. But basically, the Lawyer of the Day initiative launched in November of 2022, and it provides attorneys and social service navigators to those that are seeking legal assistance in 4 local magisterial district courts. And Derek just walked in, so I'm going to pass it over to him.
Thank you, Evan. Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but yeah, we're very excited about this program. just in the 6 months that we've been in operation, we've seen, a success rate in cases of about 47.6%. Success rate being, an outcome that's favorable to both the tenant and the landlord. Whether that's the case being dismissed, or whether it's being, delayed or withheld so that, the tenant can work out, whatever issues may be with the landlord. But we're seeing a success rate about 48%, which is 4 times higher than those same courtrooms had seen, from 2012 to 2019. So much more favorable outcomes, more people being able to remain in their homes at a time where that is, more important than ever. So we're really excited about the success that we're seeing. And it's really helping us to connect these residents with the rental assistance resources that are also out there. At the point in time where if they aren't connected to those resources, some real dire consequences that would follow them, not only in this eviction, but in future efforts to obtain housing, for years to come. So we're really, being able to intervene at the right moment through this initiative. So we're very proud of the work that the providers are doing through this program. And if we can go to the next slide, please. Later in today's agenda, as a disclosure, we'll be, entering into new contracts with those legal assistance providers so that that work can continue. I do want to note from the previous slide, though, this initiative is currently only active in 4 district courts across the city of Pittsburgh. We would love to expand that program to all city district courts in the future, but we will need to seek additional funding in order to make that happen. So we're seeing success and we're really excited to see where we can take the program from here. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Derek. And thanks, Director Miller, for hitting there while we had the technical issues. Any questions or comments from board members?
I'll jump in. I am off mute now. I thank you so much to the staff and team and to the providers doing this. This is such a powerful eviction prevention tool, and talking to activists and technicians in this space. This Lawyer of the Day initiative has been deeply, deeply impactful. Obviously, the numbers show that, but the stories that have come out of the work that folks have been able to do have been incredibly powerful. So thank you to you and your team and the providers for stepping up and taking the lead to create more tools for eviction prevention across the city.
Thank you.
I just want to echo Director Powell. She said it beautifully, and hopefully we can work together at all levels of government to find the resources necessary to expand the model to other court sites. So just again, expression of gratitude for everyone involved.
Thank you, Director.
Agreed. Derek, just for the public's, and if you covered this or Evan covered it, I apologize, but the numbers there in terms of folks can access that, if their case isn't in one of the 4 courts that the Lawyer of the Day is present, are they still able to access services, or are they only able to do it through the Lawyer of the Day program?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Chairman. I should have clarified that. Yes, even if you're not in one of those 4 courtrooms, you can still access the legal assistance program services, which would be, consultation, representation, and connection to rental assistance and other resources. So absolutely, no matter where you are in the city, I would call that number if you need help.
Thank you. There's no other questions or comments for Derek on this. We will go back to announcements. So Daniel, I'll turn things over to you.
What happened? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Our first public commenter is Raymond Moore. Raymond, you are now off mute. And you'll have 3 minutes to give your public comment. And I'll start the clock when you begin speaking. So you have the floor.
Thank you. My name is Raymond Moore. I'm the Education and Outreach Coordinator at the Fair Housing Partnership of Greater Pittsburgh. I am commenting on 5A regarding Bird Place in Carrick. We understand that the development is still in the planning stages. Based on the available information, we have the following feedback. As a senior housing development, we ask for the consideration that it is 55 and over property instead of 62 and over, due to the increased flexibility of the 55 and over designation. 55 and over properties have an 80-20 rule, wherein 80% of the residents are 55 and over, while 20% can be under 55. This flexibility allows for spouses and other family members to live together. Additionally, as new construction multifamily property with an elevator, all the units will be applicable to the design and construction disability accessibility requirements of the Fair Housing Act. Remember that the 5 units designated as ADA accessible are a heightened level of accessibility for residents with limited mobility or hearing or vision impairments. However, all units should be minimally accessible for people who use wheelchairs. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Our next public commenter is Dr. Kate Whitney Ellis. Dr. Ellis, you have the floor, and you'll have 3 minutes. I'll start the time whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready. Good afternoon, URA Board. I am commenting as a lifelong Historic Hill resident, and there are 4 Hill District items here on the agenda, so I want to address all of them. First, I want to express my support on the closing of Salem's Market and Grocery Store. As you all know, we're still a food desert and we do need this project completed. There has already been delays, so I would love to see that move forward. Second, I wanted to express my full support for the Allen Enterprises project on Heron Avenue. It will enhance a very dreary Heron Avenue, and Heron is also the second main street in our community. Ms. Ford's family has been multi-generational on the Hill, and with this and your further support, this will be a great success story for both housing and commercial space in the Hill. Third, I'd like to address purported funds of $750,000 going to the Hill CDC Marimbam Alliance for the New Granada Theater. My understanding is that there's still a significant capital gap funding in the millions of dollars that are owed to complete this project. I'm sure you all know that the cost of the New Granada Theater is $36 million. That was the latest number being offered. And there are constant calls to complete funding. So I want to know, does the URA board have the information on what that actual funding gap is? Because if, is it hundreds of thousands of dollars? Is it multiple millions of dollars? Because that really matters in terms of whether or not this project should be supported with $750,000 at this time. As you all know, there is not an unlimited amount of city funds or government funds. And as you know, the Hill District is still half empty and we need other developments happening in our neighborhood. And so I think it would be unconscionable, honestly, to give this or any further funding to the New Granada Theater project without having this proper information and whether or not they will be able to complete construction documents, by April of 2024. It seems very far-fetched, to be honest, and I need to make sure that you all have the proper information before moving forward. Lastly, I'd like to request that an official survey be added to the Greater Hill District Master Plan Consultants Job Agreement, because the last time we've had an official survey done was in 15 years. I did my own survey on behalf of the Greater Hill District Neighborhood Reinvestment Fund in January of 2022. And so I did include a straw poll, the results of that straw poll, and it was roughly about 45 residents, but they all expressed that housing is their number one concern. And as you all know, affordable housing is on everybody's mind. There are not unlimited funds, so it really does matter where every dollar goes. And their second request was largely around children's programming and support. So that's what I wanted to share, and I thank you all for your due diligence and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ellis. And our last registered public comment comes from Randall Taylor. Randall, you will have 3 minutes to give your public comment, and I'll let you know when you have about 30 seconds left. Your time begins whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much. And to the Urban Redevelopment Authority Board this afternoon, hello. And I wanted to speak about the $750,000 grant to the Hill District Consensus Group. As you know, a press conference was held a month and a half ago, hosted by the Hill District Consensus Group, Hill District Collaborative, and Uptown Partners, as we drew attention to the $2 million allocation to the Hill CDC for the New Granada Theater. And we questioned that allocation. We were fortunate enough to have a meeting with URA officials, our director and our chair, Cal Centilopoli. And we were very grateful for that meeting to get an explanation of the $2 million. But it was our expectation that we would hear when there would be additional allocations. So right now, we're not exactly sure what that $750,000 is for, and whether that's from previous agreements from the previous administration, or whether those are new allocations from the current administration. So again, let us say it very clearly that we would like to see the New Granada Theater built, but we have to prioritize needs, desires, and luxuries. And we think right now that that is not a need for the community. And as Dr. Ellis said, our priorities on the Hill, our three priorities are housing, housing, and more housing. $750,000 could go to home repairs, it can go to eviction prevention, and it can go to a lot of things to rebuild homes that we need. And so we believe finally that the New Granada Theater needs to be built, but it needs, and we hope one day that the Hill will be restored to the historic designation, a tourist designation that it needs to be. But we feel that it's wrong that the Hill District and its residents must bear the cost for something that one day will be a regional, if not tri-state amenity. And so we call on the board to rethink these allocations and to begin to seek resources both countywide and statewide, if not nationwide, to return to New Granada Theater. But first, we need housing and people to live there so that the people of the Hill District can enjoy the historic New Granada Theater. So I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Tanner. Chairman Centilopoli, that completes a public comment for this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you to those folks who took the time out today to give comment. Moving into our regular agenda. The first item here is Carrick and Burke Place. This is another one that was a long time coming. Joining us to present this item will be Nicholas Person. I'll turn things over to him.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicholas Person. I am a lending analyst in the residential lending department of the URA. And today I'm in front of the board requesting authorization to enter into exclusive negotiations with CHN Housing Partners or related entity for the sale of Block 94N Lot 37 in the 29th Ward for a period of 6 months, with authorization as well to extend this period at the discretion of the executive director in support of a low-income housing tax credit application to the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. The 7 buildings that lie on top of this parcel are known as Burke Place, which was a 33-unit multifamily housing complex located along the Brownsville Road business corridor in the Carrick neighborhood. In 2014, after years of disrepair, the buildings were condemned and secured by court order. In turn, the URA acquired the property in 2022 with the intention of improving the existing conditions of the site. At the beginning of this year, the URA met with the residents of the Carrick community to get their thoughts on Burke Place and what they would like to see done to the site. After receiving their feedback, the URA issued a request for proposals for Burke Place, which had the goal of selecting a redeveloper that could create a high-quality, green, affordable housing redevelopment that links the residential and business districts along Brownsville Road. 3 redevelopment proposals were submitted, which were presented to the Carrick community in May. Later that month, a review committee composed of URA staff and community representatives convened to discuss the 3 proposals. It was at this meeting that a decision was made to recommend CHN Housing Partners in partnership with Amani Christian Community Development Corporation as the redeveloper for Berg Place. Their proposal reimagines the site as affordable senior housing. Its development will consist of a 3.5-story elevator service building designed around naturally lit common areas that overlook Brownsville Road and a generous civic plaza. Its ground floor will be a community services space operated by Ursuline Senior Services, and its upper floors will consist of 49 total apartments, which will house seniors earning up to 60% of area median income. The current parking lot entrance drive will also be relocated to the opposite end of the site to provide safe access to residents and visitor parking behind the building. The construction of this building will necessitate the demolition of all existing structures to regrade and make the site and building fully accessible. Total development costs at this early stage are estimated to be $20.4 million. And to cover these costs, the developer intends to apply for federal low-income housing tax credits, Pennsylvania state housing tax credits, as well as pursue additional financing from the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh, the Federal Home Loan Bank, and the URA. If the board accepts this authorization, Berg Place will once again come in front of the board for approval of proposal and authorization to enter into a disposition contract. And that is my presentation. Thank you all very much for listening. I have myself as well as Laura Goralnik of CHN Housing Partners to help in answering any questions. But before that, I've been told that Councilman Andrew Coghill, the representative of Council District 4, who represents the Carrick neighborhood and its residents, is here today at this board meeting. And so if it's all right with the board, I would like to invite him to now provide a few brief remarks regarding this matter.
Councilman Coghill, can you hear us?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I appreciate that, Kyle. And I want to thank the URA Board for all you do in all the areas that you do it. Sorry I couldn't be there in person today, but I do appreciate the opportunity to express my positive enforcement of enter into negotiations with CHN. This property, which I know I had Representative Enamorado there, and I think others on the board. I know you were there, Kyle. And, this from the day I got elected was like front and foremost on my agenda. As we know, it was caught up in many legal battles. Finally, we secured it last year. And I couldn't be more excited about this. The community couldn't be more excited about it. It really is a game changer, as they say, for Brownsville Road. And I think it will help spawn lots of things. But myself, Representative Jessica Benham are fully supportive of this. And we're fully supportive in you going into negotiations with CHN. And we look forward to the development. And besides myself and the representative, more importantly, the community is fully supportive of it. I've gotten lots of feedback from them. And the senior housing model is just overwhelmingly, what they seem to support. So with that, again, I just wanted to thank you and thank you for letting me add my 2 cents and express my support for this project.
Thank you, Councilman. I know Laura Goralnik's on too. Laura, I don't know if you had anything else you'd like to add to Nicholas's presentation and the councilman's remark.
Yeah, I do briefly, if that's okay. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Kyle. And thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, Councilman Coghill, as well. Good afternoon, and thank you to the URA Board for having us here today. I am Laura Goralnik. I am the Real Estate Development Manager for CHN Housing Partners. And I want to acknowledge that there are several other members of our proposed development team on the call as well. Folks from Amani Christian Community Development Corporation, led by Reverend Lee Walls, and also our architects, the Rothschild-Doino Collaborative. Firstly, we wanted to thank the URA for their leadership in acquiring the site in question through what we all know was an arduous and complicated process. We know that the Brownsville Road corridor is at the center of many people's lives, and we know that this is an important gateway from the south into the city of Pittsburgh. And so on behalf of our entire development team, I just want to express our gratitude for your consideration of our proposal and our very sincere excitement at the opportunity to lead a catalytic development and to be a part of transforming the Carrick community. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Any questions or comments from board members with the team?
I had a quick one, and an acknowledgement again, as several have said, this has been such a labor, truly of love to bring this to this place now. So thank you to everyone who's worked on this for years and championed this project for years to bring it to the space that it is that it's in now. Quick question about traffic safety, especially considering the population of folks that we want to serve at Berg Place. Have there been conversations about how we can make sure that there are additional considerations for traffic safety when it comes to crosswalks and accessible sidewalks, that we're considering and implementing those additional pieces of accessibility in the built environment surrounding Berg Place?
Would you like me to take that one from CHN's perspective?
Sure.
Sure. So I would also ask that Councilman Coghill step in here. I do believe that there is a transportation and traffic safety study that is taking place along Brownsville Road as a part of a larger community initiative. So I would certainly want to hear more about that from the perspective of the councilman. But I will say that, you know, we saw immediately that this site presented safety challenges in terms of where the current driveway is located in proximity to a complicated intersection. And so that is why we have proposed to relocate that driveway. Certainly open to discussing the larger context of traffic safety, the intersection itself, traffic crosswalks. But yes, it is a concern of ours as well. It has been integrated into our proposal in as much as we believe, you know, we can offer. And I look to the results of that larger community study to understand what else we can incorporate into our development to make this safe for not only the residents of the future development, but also the greater community and the business district.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I jump in here? This is Councilman Coghill.
Of course, Councilman.
Okay, thank you. And Laura, I want to thank you for your interest in this project and getting it to the point where the community is fully engaged. And, you know, you've done such a great job with it. And there were other presentations in front of the community, and CHS was just heads and shoulders above the others, you know, from the feedback that I got. So I think everybody's comfortable with it. Regarding Brownsville Road corridor, and yes, we have secured money from the city of Pittsburgh to do a traffic calming study for the entire corridor, not just, you know, where the development site is. And we are working, you know, in sync with Representative Benham and State Senator Jay Costa for that. And once we, you know, do this survey or the study or whatever lack of a better word there is for it, they are committed to bring us back some state dollars. So yes, we are looking forward not only at that current site, and as we know, those of you who have been there, the access there is just, you know, it would absolutely have to change. It's really just a little alleyway to get behind it. So, but that would all be taken in consideration as far as, you know, safety measures, crosswalks, and, you know, the population that's going to inhabit this place. So I would hope they would move in conjunction. I'm not sure as to how long either project is going to take at this point, but just to have them both underway is really exciting for me and for the Carrick community. But yeah, so should all be addressed in the larger picture of the traffic calming study with Brownsville Road, and of course, working with the developer to see what their needs are and aren't. And of course, we'll try to comply with what everybody feels is the safest and best way to move forward. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Any other questions or comments, Representative Morano?
Since the councilman's on, I just want to thank him for taking me on a tour of his district and especially spending time at Berg Place, stressing the priority of that site and what it could mean to the neighborhood. And I think the day we went there, Construction Junction was there, kind of making sure that they could take the materials that they could reuse. So it seems like even the sustainability initiative is off to a great start when it comes to readying the site for this development. So, you know, just thank you for being a great advocate for the people that you represent. And I know in speaking with Representative Benham and her chief of staff that they're in full support of this as well. So very excited to see, you know, all of the legal loose ends tied up, that we have this property and now we're moving forward. So I know it's been a long time coming for this community.
Thank you, Representative Inamorado. And I want to thank you for taking the time and touring the district with me. We knocked out of a lot of things that day. I think, you know, we went everything from school safety to Berg Place to you name it. So, but I was most excited to show you Berg Place, knowing that you were, I believe you were a member of the URA board. That's probably what prompted me to call you. So I wanted to thank you for your interest in taking the time out to come up there and check out the site. And it's really great to see it come to fruition.
That's great. I think as been noted, this has been a long time coming. To call it an odyssey would probably be an understatement in the amount of time and commitment, Councilman, that you've devoted to this, Representative Benham, URA staff, in order to be to this day. This, you know, as Nicholas noted, is the first action, so there'll be a few more, you know, as the design comes together to take into consideration some of the comments we heard earlier in terms of those, and then also the considerations that Director Powell asked about in the study, Councilman, that you mentioned. So we know there's a ways to go, but to get to this day took the commitment of a lot of people. So I don't want that to be understated. And given the history of the site and the importance, as has been noted, to the neighborhood, this is critically important first step. So with that, I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Then the motion carries. Thank you all. Congratulations, and looking forward to seeing this back before the board, hopefully sometime soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Next item on the agenda, going to the Hill District, Salem's Market and Grill. Joining us for this will be Tom Lake.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks, Mr. Chair. Thanks, members of the board, the public. Tom Link, I'm Chief Development Officer here at the URA. You know, excited to present this item. This is I know that there's a tremendous amount of interest in this, and there's been a tremendous amount of effort put into moving this development forward, and excited to bring this action here today. So the authorization we're seeking from the board is to acceptance of final drawings, final evidence of financing, and really to execute a deed for the sale of Block 11A, Lot 123, excuse me, in the 3rd Ward, which of course is the Center Hellman Plaza, to Salem's Market and Grill for the development of primarily the development of Salem's grocery store. Just to kind of step back, and you know, certainly the director's report details this, but just to reiterate for the public and for the board, and the URA acquired the Center Hellman Plaza back in 2019, and really at that moment was to protect it. You know, with the plaza at the time was experiencing an economic difficulty, and the URA stepped in to acquire the site to protect it, frankly, for community benefit and to allow us to get to this point. We issued a request for interested tenants to re-tenant the building. Went through a process for the grocery store, the former grocery store that had been there to attract a new grocery store. Thankfully, Salems was one of those applicants and went through a process and was selected to be the grocery store operator for Center Heldman Plaza. We had been working with Salems and have been working with them continuously, but working with them as more of a lease arrangement. In April of this year, April 2023, the board will recall and the public will recall that we approved the sale of the plaza through acceptance of a redevelopment proposal to Salems to allow for Salems to acquire the property and be the owner and developer of the site. Today's action would be the final action for the public and for the board. As to the sale, evidence of financing has been secured on about a $7.167 million project. Drawings largely entitled, although there's a variance maybe for the sign, but we're confident that can be that certainly contingent on that, but that can be accomplished in due time to allow for the closing. Evidence of drawings, minority women business enterprise participation. So we're prepared to start pushing towards a closing on the development. Just to reiterate the details on this, grocery store full service, providing access to full service grocery to the Greater Hill District, aligns with a variety of goals, missions that have been identified through the Greater Hill District Master Plan and the URA's Avenues of Hope initiative. And I know, many folks are locally, regionally excited for this development to happen. A couple quick things, I just want to, I know, and Abdullah and the Salems team are here, and I would like to, allow them comment to jump in. But I do want to, this is a significant commitment by a local small business to do this project. Salems is a local MBE, minority business enterprise business here in our city, has successfully operated, their grocery store, the prepared foods, originally actually in Oakland and then in the Strip District for many, many years. In fact, URA actually helped their expansion into the Strip District much earlier in my career, certainly after I was an intern on the side many years ago. So it's a long partnership. This is a second operation for them. This is not one of 10 or 15. This is a major investment and a commitment by a local business, a local minority-owned business to invest in this space. And I think I want to thank them for that, and not have that. I want to for the public and for the board to be very aware of this. This is a true partnership and a private enterprise, a local private enterprise, taking a significant step with us as the public to move this project forward. And also URA staff, as the URA's team has been dedicated to this for many, many years across, and I was going to name names, but I'm not going to do it because it would take too long, but many folks over many years have been working on this. And I just want to thank all of the URA team who's been working on this over several years. With that, I do know the Salems team, and I think Abdullah in particular is here, and I'd like Abdullah to be able to chime in and add any comment that you may like, and just reiterate that we're pushing here. This is exciting. We want to get open. I know Abdullah will say this. It's important to get the store open. It's important to get the store open in time frankly for the holiday season. And that's really what we're working towards here. And this action is a final action to allow us to move towards that closing and really get the store open. So with that, I will stop and let Abdullah, if you'd like to add anything, or anybody from the Salems team. But with that, I'll pause and stop there. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tom. Much appreciated. I spoke once before. I want to again thank everyone at the meeting, everyone here at this meeting, everyone in the mayor's office, the Hill CDC, all of the URA board and staff members, Councilman Lavelle's office. This project, as Tom said, has really truly defines public-private partnership. It's been an effort from everyone. We've all sort of joined together for the benefit of the Hill District community. We're extremely excited to serve the community, and at the end of the day, our efforts are dedicated to the people of the Hill District, expanding our business and becoming new neighbors to this great community. So I want to thank everyone at the mayor's office, everyone from the URA, from the staff to the board to everyone, Councilman Lavelle's office, the mayor's office, everyone. Thank you very much for your support for us in this project. We're excited to begin work as soon as all the processes are complete. And again, thank you very much for this partnership. And we're looking forward to serving the Hill District community very soon, God willingly, in time for the holidays. And thanks again. I won't let you down.
Thanks, Abdullah. It's great to see you back here so soon. It felt like we were just had you on before, but it's wonderful for you to be here before us for final action so quickly. So any questions or comments from board members? Councilman.
Obviously very excited to see this move forward, but it's also just worth noting that next Tuesday at 5 o'clock at Warren United Methodist Church on Center Avenue, there's also going to be a community meeting about the grocery store and its progression. So just informing the public who may be interested.
Thank you, Councilman. Yeah, I would echo everything, Tom, that you said. Abdullah, excited to be here, today for this. Incredibly important, for the community. So thank you for your commitment to the project, your creativity and willingness to work through, different solutions with staff on how to approach this, and overjoyed that you're before us here today, like I said, so quickly, to be able to see this through and everything goes well. Like you said, they have you open in time for the holidays. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? All right, the motion carries. Thank you all. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all.
Director Harris just sent me a note. The community meeting next Tuesday is at 6 p.m. for folks.
Yeah, my mistake. I apologize.
All good. Moving on, the next item is the Greater Hill District Master Plan update. Joining us for this will be Auster.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Auster Tekla, and I'm in the Development Services Department. The board action that we are requesting today is authorization to enter into a contract or related agreements with HRNA advisors for an amount not to exceed $150,000 for professional services related, again, to the Greater Hill District Master Plan update and Heron Avenue corridor study. And here are some basic demographic or an infogram of the contract itself. The total project cost, as noted, is $150,000. The master plan update will be for the entirety of the Hill District, which was created originally about 10 years ago. It's been a decade. HRNA will also be contracted to work on the Heron Avenue corridor study. The master plan update and Heron Avenue study will focus on vacant parcels, corridor activation, commercial development, and residential development. While under contract with the URA, HRNA's work will be directed by the Department of City Planning. Also, I'd like to thank Dr. Ellis for her comments earlier. We're always open to community input, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you. Director Abrams, I know you're on. If there's anything you'd like to add to Auster's presentation.
No, unless there are questions from the directors, I'm fine with Auster. Thank you so much for that presentation. I appreciate it. And I also want to thank Dr. Ellis for her comments and suggestions as well. I'll pass them along if this is approved by the URA board.
Thanks, Director. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve them.
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Great, the motion carries. Thank you all. We'll look forward to seeing the plan finish up here soon. Thanks.
Thank you.
Our next item on the agenda, staying in the Hill District, is the New Granada Theater. Joining us for this will be Tom Link, our Chief Development Officer.
Yep, thanks so much, Chair, members of the board, the public. Again, I'm Tom Link, Chief Development Officer. So this is an authorization to provide up to $750,000 in URA financing, of course, in support of the New Granada Theater The New Granada Theater, I think as most folks know, but is about a $36 million redevelopment project of the historic New Granada Theater building on Center Ave in the Hill District. The program brings theater space, event space, retail, and other office to the community, and is a project that's been I know is long in the sort of development and hope to bring back to online, as it's been certainly been vacant for many years. A couple of notes, and I do appreciate and thank the public comment at the beginning, and just a couple of quick things just to address real quickly. The dollars that we're talking about here are specific for commercial development. I just want to be clear, we're not reallocating from, say, some other use side in terms of, say, housing as an example, to help to provide monies to this project. So these are dollars that would, in any case, be for commercial and sort of job creating development. The second piece as to the gap, I mean, they're just to be clear, this is a kind of an initial action. A final action as to the financing would come back to the board. It properly noted, this is not about to close. We are sort of forward authorizing the use of these dollars for this project that we would bring back through full underwriting, due diligence, and authorization with an outside date of April 2024 for the project financing and the capital stack to be fully complete and to be in a position to close. So I want to be very clear on that. Again, I do appreciate that comment, and I want to be clear for the board, for the public and the commenters, as well as the public for sure. With that said, I do want to note that I believe anyway, the development members of the development team are here and can certainly comment as to where the project status is. I will say that it has been, the report to us, the URA, and me in particular, in my role here as Chief Development Officer, is that the capital stack and the fundraising to complete the capital stack has gained positive momentum, and they're working toward that, a complete capital stack in a positive manner. So this is just part of the impetus for us to kind of push on this. But with that said, I do know that I believe anyway, the development team is here and can add comment to that and provide any status and answer questions. But again, this is sort of a preliminary approval. It is dollars that we would otherwise, it is for commercial development, certainly not being moved from any other sort of uses, specifically say housing as an example, as to the public comment. And is subject to due diligence will be brought back to the URA board as part of a final financing. As that full $36 million capital stack it comes to the completion, and then if that doesn't happen by April 24th, that's the no later for this particular authorization that's being requested of the board here today. But with that, I'll pause, and certainly I can answer any questions and invite the team if they would like to, the development team and the CVC if they'd like to add anything to that. But thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Marimba Malayans. I am President and CEO of the Hill Community Development Corporation. I'm very proud to be here today representing both the Hill CDC, but also the Hill District neighborhood. I am thrilled that this project is moving forward with additional support. Many of you who have followed the project know that this is a $70 million revitalization project of a city block. The commercial portions of the historic building and the New Granada office building are a $50 million development together when you count the historic preservation project as well as the office building. This will bring hundreds of jobs to the neighborhood, both temporary as well as long-term and construction related. It will bring a multi-purpose event space on the second floor, hosting up to 900. That will be a multi-purpose event space that can be utilized by the entirety of our region to showcase the incredible neighborhood that we have here called the Hill District. There will be a black box theater that will be available for community use, culture, arts, and a range of other activities that are desperately needed in order to bring both economic development and cultural activity back to the main street of the Hill District. There will be a cafe that it will bring food to a desperately needed food desert in our region. In addition to that, the University of Pittsburgh will anchor their community engagement center, taking 10,000 square feet in the historic building and 10,000 square feet in the new office building, which will bring the African American Poetry and Poetic Center, the Jazz Center, the Digital Inclusion Center, a Digital Inclusion Center into our community, which is great for upskilling, as well as other STEAM and STEM activities for the neighborhood for children and for adults alike. In addition to that, we will bring local office space to the main street of the Hill District. Now, why this is important is because while we are all cheering and rooting for downtown, I certainly am, we also know that main streets are really the future, where people want to be. And in order to bring people to our main streets, they also need additional office space in our main streets to bring economic vitality to our entire region that serves the residential population of our community. And so I want to thank you all for supporting this project at this level. Again, I want to reiterate that this project was voted on in 2015 as a part of the Center Avenue redevelopment process, which anyone who is interested in learning about that process can find it at www.hilldistrict.org/Center Avenue. This process involved hundreds of residents that at the end of the process identified the #1 site that needed to be delivered in the Hill District to restore the neighborhood's economic and cultural vibrance. And this block was named the #1 block by Hill District residents. And so this is not a one-off, this is a long-held dream and vision for the Hill District neighborhood and quite frankly for our region. It is a national landmark. The National Historic Preservation community is rooting for this project, as well as an assortment of many others. With that said, I want to remind everyone that out of a $58 million capital stack for both buildings, we are looking at today a relatively modest investment for which we are incredibly grateful. But I can assure you to both Tom and Sushila that we will be back asking for more at some point. And while I understand that this may not be the pleasure of everyone, we have our instructions very clearly from the Hill District community that is documented. So thank you for your support. I'm here to answer any questions. Our office is on Center Avenue if anyone has questions directly. And you are all invited to the Hill District's community cookout this evening, where we will be talking about it more at 2145 Center Avenue, the Nafasi Art Gallery, starting at 5:30. Thank you very much. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from board members?
No questions for all the many reasons Ms. Lyons just laid out. I'm very happy to support this. I also want to thank Tom for providing that clarity that these are actually funds that are set aside for commercial purposes. But I also just wanted to the comments that we heard earlier, it's not an either or in our community. All these things are necessary. Investment in commercial development is critical. Yes, investment in affordable housing is also critical, but I would like to remind them that either a month or two votes ago, we voted to begin the process of redeveloping Bedford dwellings and bringing new affordable units online. Currently, there are townhomes being built behind the YMCA, some of which are being reserved for affordable housing. Yesterday, I legislated dollars to be sent to PHDC to support investment in rehab affordable home ownership opportunities in the Upper Hill District. And I can give many other examples, but my point is we are paying attention to investing in housing in the Hill District community. But at the same time, we need to invest in food institutions, which is why we're moving Salim's along. We need to invest in our park spaces, which is why we're finishing up a parks master plan for the community. So it's not a zero-sum game. We need all of it to work together to complement and create a really thriving neighborhood. So I just wanted to sort of make that known and clear. But happy to support this today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I think you said it all well. I don't know if there's any other questions or comments from board members related to this item.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Next item on the agenda is in Larmer. This is for Larmer phases 3 and 4 commercial build out, and coming back to join us is Auster Teclay. I'll turn things over to her.
Hi, I'm back. It is not my twin. It is still just me. I'm here to speak about Larmer Phase 3 and 4 commercial build out. We are requesting today an authorization for a waiver of the Community Development Investment Fund, CDIF guidelines for the Industrial Development Corporation to receive up to $100,000 in Community Development Investment Funds, CDIF, to support commercial space build out for Larmer Phases 3 and 4. And here's a quick synopsis of each phase. So for Phase 3, it'll be a mixed-use development consisting of about 37 units on 2 floors with above ground retail. The Community Development Investment Funds will be used to build out a vanilla shell on the ground floor, hopefully for the use of future commercial and retail space. Larmer Phase 4, very similar. It will be commercial redevelopment, which includes the renovation of the third wing of the Larmer School. So many folks may remember that school, very blighted, needed just a lot of attention, and we're at the point where we're able to rehab and turn that space, those sections of the school, which would be the gymnasium and the auditorium, into again additional commercial space. Are there any questions?
I know that the next item is a similar waiver of guidelines, Austera. If we want to take them both together, maybe if you want to give that presentation as well, and then we can look at both of them at the same time.
Right, and the last property is located actually in the Upper Hill. It's 646 Heron Avenue. Again, this would be a commercial build out, similar authorization to waive the guidelines for the Community Investment Fund for Allen Enterprise LLC. This is a very brief overview again. Total development cost is about $62,000. The Community Development Investment Funds will be used again for first floor commercial space and exterior facade. The property is owned by Allen Investments and Development LLC, a real estate development company based in Pittsburgh, and is dedicated to providing affordable housing and economic investment. And I do want to note that this is just one building in a series of several that is owned by Allen Enterprises, that they're doing a larger rehab, but this is just kind of the first phase. So if you look on that corridor on the corner of 646 Heron Avenue, just big things to come there. It's going to be a really great redevelopment of that section. And I do believe we have the developer here if the board had any questions that they wanted to pose.
Thank you. Ms. Ford, if you're on, if there's anything that you'd like to add to Austera's presentation.
Hello. I would just like to say thank you to the URA Board for your consideration on the Heron project. I would also like to thank the Hill District community for their support, and a special thanks to Austera for your consideration and your continued support. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your investment in the community. If there's any questions or comments from board members on either item.
Excited for both. Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed or abstentions? Both motions carry. So thank you, Austera, for your works on this, and Ms. Ford for your investment. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lastly, we have our disclosures agenda. There was mention earlier of the authorizations on the legal assistance program investments, so did want to highlight those, and then also for the public's awareness, items 1A and B, in terms of increasing our transparency. We're reducing contract amounts that could be signed off on by the executive director or leadership, and then also by the executive director and the board chair with leadership. So our meetings may get a little longer because we'll see some more contracts coming for us, but we feel that's the right thing to do. If there's any other questions or comments from board members on the disclosures agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve in its entirety.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Then the motion carries. Unless there's anything else for the good of the order, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you all for joining us today, and we will see you next month.
Thanks. Bye.